Hey guys, so I want to talk about becoming a homeowner and give you a few tips on how you can purchase your own home and what's going to help you to be in a position where you can purchase a home. So I purchased my condo in 2021 and I didn't have a desire to be a homeowner at that point. I was in an apartment. I had never owned my own place. I never owned a house, anything. And so it just seemed like something that I don't know, it seemed kind of out of reach for me. But I started to just think about the benefits. And I'm like, okay, well, if I'm paying all of this in rent, then it would only make sense for me to have something even bigger, more space that is mine, that I can have ownership and equity in, and I can have my own. And I just started thinking about it and praying about it. And so I decided that, it was something that I wanted to do. So even before I had really made the decision, the first thing that I started to do was to build my credit. And so I was able to get excellent credit in a short amount of time. And so I'm not saying short amount of time, like a couple months or anything. Like it took months. It took maybe like a year to really get to where I wanted to be in order to really have home buying power and all of those things. So where I started at was Credit Karma. And Credit Karma allowed me to track my credit score and see what it is that I needed to do, what I needed to pay off, and all of those things. And then after I did Credit Karma for a while, I switched over to Experian, because what Credit Karma does is allows you to track your credit score, but Experian allows you to track your FICO score. And so your FICO score is really what you want to look at when you're looking to be in a position to purchase and buy a home. So a FICO score can range anywhere from 300 to 850. So of course, the higher the better. So you want to get a high credit and FICO score so that you can get in a good position so that you can be approved to buy a home. So in order to buy a house, I think that the goal that you can set for yourself is to make sure that you have a FICO score of 740 or better. My goal was to get to 800 or above, and I just worked to make sure that I could get as close to that as possible. And so I was able to make sure that I was putting my best foot forward as far as my credit to make sure that I will be approved. So the first step is to make sure that you pay off your debt. So you're going to have a credit limit. So if you have credit cards or anything like that, you want to make sure that you are not using over 30% of your credit limit per month, because that's going to lower your score. So make sure that you are using your credit card, because some people think that they're just always going to pay it, and keep it at zero. But they want to see that you are utilizing your credit responsibly. So it's always important to have credit, because some people cannot get approved for loans because they have no credit. Okay, and so no credit is the same as bad credit, because that is not allowing you to be able to show that you know how to use credit responsibly. So make sure that you are using your credit card monthly. One tip that you can do is just to put a recurring payment on your credit card, and that way it comes out every month, and then you can put your credit card on an auto pay so that it automatically is paid on the due date. So you can put something as small as like a utility bill, Netflix, something like that, and then make sure that that is on an auto pay with the credit card so that that bill is being paid on time, and then make sure that you're paying your credit card bill when it's due. And so that shows that you are responsibly using your credit card every month, keeping it under the 30%, and you're paying your credit card bill on time. And so that'll help your credit rate to improve and increase your FICO score. You also don't want to close out a lot of credit cards, or whatever it is that you have, whether it be loans or car notes and all of those things. So if you continue to get new credit, then that's going to affect your score. And if you close a lot of your credit lines, that's going to decrease your score as well. So one of the things that they like to see is your credit history length. And so the longer credit history you have, the better. Like right now, currently, my credit history is not super long because, you know, sometimes you may get a new car note and different things that you have to apply for. And so then that shows up as a new line of credit, and it can affect your credit history. So that's not gonna affect things too much, but you just want to keep that in mind. Like, you don't want to constantly go to the stores and keep opening and applying for new credit cards, or, you know, constantly closing out cards that you feel like you aren't using, because that's going to negatively impact your credit score. After you have found a way to improve your credit score or maintain your credit score if, you know, it's already high, once you do that, then definitely, of course, you have to save, save, save. There's so many things that you have to pay for when you end up closing on your home outside of just your monthly bill. You're going to have to pay for closing costs, and, you know, there's just a number of things that you have to pay for. So making sure that you save, save, save is definitely something that you need to do. So in order to save, for me, I wear a lot of hats, okay? I have some other videos with, like, you know, professional things, which I want to do a lot more of that. But I am very much an advocate for having multiple sources of income. And so just taking a moment to sit back, take an evening, even write it down. Just write all the things that you like to do, all the things that you are good at, because sometimes your hobbies can be converted into a revenue source. And so just identifying those things can help you to figure out ways that you can come up with additional streams of income for yourself. So if you can just, you know, come up with some additional income streams that can help you to buffer your savings and save for your home, then I think that that will be a great thing to look into. And also, when you're saving, creating a budget for yourself is always good. I'm not really a stickler for having like a tight budget, but I definitely make sure that I give to myself first, which I have started doing, you know, in recent years. And so I make sure that I have my weekly, monthly amount that I'm giving to myself to save, making sure you have your emergency fund and anything that you are saving towards retirement, and then in this case, buying a house. So always make sure that you save and continue to save so that you have a goal of how much you want to save by a certain date when you're looking and all of these things. So I would establish a budget so that you can save money, so that you're not overspending, and then setting a budget for yourself of how much you want to give towards your home buying goals. And some of the things that you're going to have to pay for, just so that you have in mind when you're saving, you're going to have to pay for your closing costs. You're going to have to pay for moving expenses. If you get a realtor, you're going to have to pay them. You're going to have to pay for repairs or renovations if needed. So just keep track of that. Make a list of everything that may come up, and all of the things that you may have to purchase or buy during your home buying process, your looking process, and then your closing fees and all of the moving fees that come after you purchase your home. The next thing is making sure that transitions us into finding a realtor that works for you, that's going to help you to find your dream home and keep you in line with what works for your budget and all of those things. So I had a wonderful, wonderful realtor. She is a friend, a family friend. I've known her for years. And this was my first time working with her. And she was just so great because home buying, the whole process can be pretty stressful. And I will admit there were times, even early on, where I was ready to give up. I said, this is too much. I had put in a couple of offers that I didn't get. And my realtor, she was so encouraging. She didn't let me give up. She was like, it takes time. I was looking during COVID. It was like a very tough market. And so she just really helped to keep me encouraged. And so I just would advise getting a realtor that you really trust, who's able to work with you, help you to identify your goals, and just stick in there with you. When you're budgeting to save money, that will help you to know how much it is that you want to spend on a home. And so just being able to work with your realtor to come up with all of the details on how much you want to spend on buying a property, where you want to live, the neighborhood, if you have children, looking at the school district in the area, looking at the schools around your home. Those are all things that you need to think about. What are some non-negotiable things that you have to have? Do you need an attached garage? Do you need a basement? Do you need a certain number of bedrooms? So just making sure that you establish all of those details when you start looking so that you know what it is that you want and you can narrow down your search. So I stayed on Trulia, Zillow, all the home buying sites. It's like still a great pastime. Like I still look at homes all the time and I am fine where I am. But it's just nice to dream and think about, okay, when I want to move, this is what I want. So it's just a lot of fun, to look on those sites, and they have a lot of filters that you can filter down to exactly what you're looking for. You get email alerts when houses are posted that meet your needs. And also my realtor, she has her own site. So I would get emails from her site, letting me know, or she would call me when something comes up. And so, utilizing those resources to find exactly what it is that you like and what you're looking for, then, that is a great thing. And then having a realtor that you trust, she was able to put me in touch with a great mortgage company, and we came up with different strategies like creating a letter, just talking about why it is that they should pick you for the home versus someone else. So just different tools and methods that you can do to make yourself look more appealing, and maybe will help you to beat out some of your competitors when you put in a bid. I worked with the mortgage company to make sure that I got pre-qualified, and so I think that that's important, to make sure that you get pre-qualified, so that way when you put in an offer, you're already pre-qualified for a certain amount for a mortgage. So that's a great first step. And then the mortgage that I got, I had to take a home buyer's course. It was a prerequisite, and it was just online. They had a lot of modules to do, and I really loved taking that course. It was very helpful because it had a lot of information about budgeting and checklists that you can use for move in and move out. So even if you don't have to do something like that with your mortgage company, then I would suggest taking a home buyer's course online or even in person, because it just gives you so many tips that you can use. Especially if you were like me and you're a first-time homeowner and home buyer, I wasn't familiar with the process. And so it just helped me to know what it is that's going to be coming up, what I can do to make sure that I'm ready and prepare and all of those things. So then from there, the next step is just going and viewing homes, which, was so fun, because you get to see houses that are staged and get ideas about how you want to decorate, and just seeing what it is that you like and don't like. Because going to visit houses helped me to realize, okay, this is something that I thought I wanted, and then when you see it, it's like, no, I don't think so. I think I want to go a different direction, It just helps you to narrow down and see, what's really important to you. What are your real deal breakers? What are you willing to do or not do? That's pretty much it. That's what I did. I put in several offers. Like I said, it is a process, and just stick in there, because I think that I ended up getting the perfect place for me and my son. And, there were a couple things that I did after I moved in. So I think that it just helped me to be able to have the vision. Like I had the HQTV type of vision going on in my head. But you have to have that, So I saw the bigger picture. And so when I came in, I did a couple, it wasn't like a remodel or anything by any means. I could have been okay with things. But I just was able to do a couple little changes to make the space feel like home for me, So think about that. Think about what it is that you can do to make sure that, the place that you buy is what you want. I changed out like the bathroom vanity. I painted the whole place. I painted my kitchen cabinets and changed out the handles on the cabinets. Like just small little things that you may not think about. You may say, oh, I hate those cabinets. But if you really think about it, I was like, oh, well, if I paint the cabinets white and I put silver handles on it, then it's going to look great, So you have to have that vision when you're looking to say, this is the perfect place, and those couple things that I may not like, I can change it. And if you've done a great job budgeting and saving and getting extra sources of income, then you can stash a little extra money so that you can do those fixer-upper small things when you move in. I don't know, just some tips that worked for me, and hopefully you guys find it helpful. And if you are just starting the home buying process or thinking about buying a home, then I wish you so much luck, because I love being a homeowner. It's so fulfilling, and it just feels great to have a place that is yours, that is your own. So thank you, and see you next time.